Hey, welcome into the Badger Connect podcast. I'm your host, Mike Heller. This is a get-to thing every week for me. I get a chance to interview Wisconsin coaches from all of the sports and athletes, and a little pull back the curtain behind the scenes, some life talk, certainly some game talk as well. Badger Connect is a content provider that is subscription based, but on Thursdays, when we launch the podcast every Thursday, the Badger Connect podcast, it's free. So we really kind of kicked this off in the spring with a sit-down interview with Luke and Amy Fickle. We've done Kelly and Kathy Sheffield and a number of players and coaches. I did one with the kid in the middle of the screen. Shouldn't call him a kid anymore. Cooper Catalano and his brother Mason Posa, not related, but he knows what I'm talking about. Did that earlier, and looking forward to this. They are related. That's Cooper Catalano. He wears number 44. He's the one in the middle of the screen. A sophomore linebacker, went to Germantown High School, and his dad is standing next to him here. Well, they're not in the same room, but that's Dad on the other side of the screen. Thank you both for jumping in and doing this. This is something I've been looking forward to be able to talk to a father and son about the experience, and I appreciate both of you carving out time to be with me.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having us, Mike.
Good to be here.
Jim, let's talk about jerseys. All right, so Cooper wears 44, and I would assume maybe you've got a jersey or three.
Yeah, we've got a few. We last year we did purchase both initially we just had the Reds, my wife and I, when it became apparent he was going to be traveling, and as the season wore on, when he started seeing the field more, we thought, well, we better get some aways as well. So we each have a red and a white. And rumor has it, my wife may have purchased the special edition Lambeau jerseys for this upcoming game here. So I think we'll break those out on September 6th.
Yeah, September 6th on a Sunday night at Lambeau. And Cooper, you've been there before, but I can't imagine that much time goes by in any day where you're not thinking about running out onto that turf for that opening night game against Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a childhood dream for me, a childhood dream for both of us, really. Being there a bunch, growing up, going to games with him, preseason games, snow games. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a dream come true for me.
You don't play many games on grass. How much is there difference to that? And that's one of the great turfs in all of sport. That football field, it's fantastic turf, but you don't play a whole lot of games on grass.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be different because as you said, there's so many stadiums in the Big Ten now that are turf. But we actually practice a good amount on that little grass field kind of behind Camp Randall. So I'm sure that whole week we'll be practicing out there, getting used to it, and be on the frozen tundra, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. How do you like the new Reds that Mom and Dad are going to be wearing to the game? How do you like the game designed opening night against Notre Dame all Reds?
Yeah, those are going to be sick, man. Especially under the lights, they got that kind of reflective W and the like the shiny chrome kind of numbers. So it's gonna be super cool. It was a really cool experience for me. Along with Mason, Colton, and Chris to be able to kind of be a part of that and reveal that to the team. So that was a super cool process for us.
Jim, I want to talk a little bit about the whole process of what's led Cooper to be here. You and Jenny, Mom and Dad, you have a daughter that also plays volleyball at UW Milwaukee. So athletic family, it was obviously a focus within the family, because sports is a builder of good people. What was your thought process as you're raising two athletic kids?
Well, my thought process was, thank God my wife is athletic. So, but yeah, the kid. We were both athletic, and sports were always on the television. We were always competing at something. So I don't know that we really pushed either of them into sports. We just kind of, we said we really like you to get involved. My daughter wanted to try cheerleading, and I was like I've tried to embrace all her interests, but I'm like, well, let's try to find something for tall girls. And so we tried basketball, and that didn't really stick. And fortunately, she really glommed onto volleyball and had a great career. She graduated from UW Milwaukee 2025, and she's an engineer now. So very proud of her. But yeah, just like every kid growing up, it's a great. I mean, it's a great social outlet, and with parents that were involved in athletics, it seemed like the logical path.
Cooper, what's your second best sport?
Right now or in high school?
Well, like growing up, was there something else? Was there a second best? Because obviously at some point, football became your best sport if it wasn't always. But what was second best?
Yeah, I definitely football was my best. I think, I mean, I didn't play it all the way through, but I think baseball was my second best sport in high school.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I played my freshman year. Then after that, I kind of chose basketball because I thought it would translate more, and
Yeah.
it helped. It was fun. I had a great time, but I think I was better at baseball than basketball.
Jim, you have firsthand knowledge of it with a daughter that played volleyball and Cooper obviously playing football at Wisconsin. Youth sports has changed from I'm older than you are, but from when we grew up in it, where you just did the sport that was in season, and now football is the least specialized of the sports. Maybe that's changing because there's no club as football goes. There are now 7-on-7s. But at what point did you recognize that there was a little bit something different about Cooper, that he wasn't just going to be a starter on varsity in high school, that there was something more? And then at what point with that did maybe the process change for both of you? And let's start with Jim.
Well, I could go way back. I'll try to keep it short, but when he was we'd be sitting around when he was 2, 3, 4 years old, sitting on the floor watching college and pro football, and all he wanted to do was run into me, just for 3 hours. That's all he wanted to do. So I would just set up pillows around my body, and he would just take running starts and just tackle me. So that was just always fun for him. And as we graduated on to flag football, I may have had a little hand because I used to say, well, when you can get a little shoulder in when you pull a flag, but he was, second, third. He was second, third grade. He was lighting kids up. Dads were coming across the field wanting to fight me. So for
It's supposed to be. You're supposed to pull the flag, Cooper.
He did pull the flag. It was just yeah, that was kind of my fault because I think I kind of like taught him to do that. But
Sure.
but yeah. So our community tackle football starts in 5th grade. We got special permission to, and he wasn't a big dude. He was 88 pounds or something in 4th grade. So, but they let him play tackle football, and they put him at nose guard. And he was so quick and small, he would just shoot the gaps. He would just dive through the A gap and sack the quarterback every time. So it just kind of took off from there. Now, to answer your question, I guess correctly, I always knew we had something, right? But you don't know. He's a really good football player, but is he going to be a 160-pound really good football player, or is he, So as he grew and he started getting a little bit of height, started getting a little weight. I thought, well, maybe we have a chance here, and then he ended up, getting that shot to start in varsity as a freshman, and got his first Division I offer the summer after freshman year, and then we were like, holy cow, we got something here. So,
Cooper, when did you start to love and embrace the grind of the game? In other words, the weight room and the conditioning aspects, those part of it, because a lot of players, a lot of kids love the game, but they don't love the work that gets to the game. When did that become part of you, ingrained in you?
Yeah, so my dad is a personal trainer, so I've always kind of seen him, being super active, always training clients, sometimes having them at the house. I'd go with them a bunch too, kind of see what they're doing. And then when I was like really little, he would like bring me to come play flag football with all his buddies. We'd always go play at Concordia on their field. So that was super fun. I was just a little guy like running around with them. But yeah, I mean, that was really the start of it.
Couple of those references to the little guy. Dad talked about you being an 88 pounder. What are you playing at now?
Yeah, so right now I'm sitting at about like 233, 234. I want to stay around that for the season.
Okay. When you played at Germantown in your senior year and set the all-time tackles record in the state, what do you remember the weight that you played at then?
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, I was probably 205. And
Okay.
then by the end, I was probably, similar. But then, you have 2 months of basketball. So that's why I came in pretty light here at about like 200, 199. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do we not know about what you guys do from a weight conditioning food standpoint that some of our viewers might go, really?
I don't think it's anything crazy. I think for me and him, I think it was just being consistent.
Yeah.
See him, my dad being a great example. He's up almost every morning at 4 a.m. getting early to climb. So I guess seeing the work ethic he kind of put in, the personal training and the work he does on his body. I
Yeah.
mean, he's getting up there now, but he still looks really solid. So I think
Yeah.
just seeing that motivates me.
A little old reference there, pops.
All right, he's not lying.
Yeah, well, yeah. I can embrace that concept. Um, so when you finished last year, Cooper, with 56 tackles, couple of sacks, 4.5 TFLs, what happens when the season ends? Chris McIntosh had come out and said that Coach Fickle would be back in early November, which I think took a fair amount of consternation away from some of the players wondering what was going to happen. But I mean, being honest and fair about this, there's a lot of portal opportunity out there. Take us through what your process, and Jim, you might have certainly been involved in that too. How did that play for you at the end of last year, Cooper?
Yeah, so it was again talking. We mentioned Chris. He did a great job, or Mr. McIntosh, excuse me. He did a great job, kind of coming in to the team meeting room, kind of middle of the year, and told us that Coach Vick's going to be here. He's going to be our guy. So that definitely erased a lot of the questions last year. But no, heading into the offseason, the portal. I mean, for me, I've never really had an interest in that, and didn't have any portal interest really. So it was always a easy decision for me to come back here. This staff took a chance on me when I was 200 pounds, small town kid coming in here. So I have a lot of gratitude and respect for that.
Jim, let me have you weigh in on it because uh, you're around the sport, so there are other parents who look at it dramatically differently. What's the process in your world? And it's important, obviously, to have some consistency within the program, but I mean, I don't know. There's 55 new players, right? I mean, so a lot of portaling in and out. How does a dad look at it?
Well, I'm not. I'm just the dad. I follow my son's lead on this, and he's been a Coach Fickle guy from day one. Very loyal, both him and Mason. That's their guy. Um, and Cooper was offered under Paul Chris' staff. Jim
Yeah,
Leonard
right.
offered him, actually. Mark D'Onofrio, the linebacker coach then. So I was a little skeptical because I was, of course, in state. I was a big Jim Leonard fan. So when he didn't get the job, I didn't really know what to think. I didn't know, like, they don't know Cooper. Are they gonna?
Yeah,
But I, honest to God, inside a week of getting hired, Coach Fickle was at Germantown High School. So that told me something, and it's just been a really great from Coach Tressel to Max early on, and Pat.
yeah,
They just always made Cooper a priority. We certainly felt like a priority, and we've all been, as a family, bought in ever since. So Cooper had no interest in going anywhere, and didn't entertain any of those ideas or
yeah.
reach outs. So
Hey Badger fans, Jesse Temple here. If you're the kind of Badger fan who always wants a little more than the final score, that's really what I'm doing at Badger Connect. Each week, I'm sharing stories, interviews, behind-the-scenes insight, and Badger Bites videos to help bring fans a little closer to Wisconsin athletics. It's built for fans who just want more context, more access, more of what's happening around the teams. You can jump in as a starter member for just $10 a month at BadgerConnect.com.
Let me take you both back, and Jim, I'm going to start with you. Um, it's been fairly well chronicled, but many people also probably still don't know that Cooper's a type 1 diabetic, and you guys discovered that when he's 5. Take us
Yeah.
through how that worked, and then Cooper, I'm going to ask you about how that plays out for you because you have it, but maybe to some advantages. But Jim, let me start with you and your wife, and how you discovered and how it kind of changed the path, kind of rolling forward.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you bringing that up because I think sometimes he gets forgotten or glossed over
Yeah.
because this guy's making headlines now with this play, which is great. But it was very scary, and there's millions of parents, unfortunately, that get that news every year. It's on the rise. It's becoming more and more common. But it was frightening, and like any new thing, you try to kind of wrap your head around it and see how we're going to handle it. And I guess I'm no dad of the year, Mike, but I guess our approach and what I told Cooper right away, as soon as he could understand. I don't know how much he understood at 5, but I said we're never going to use this as an excuse. Okay, we're gonna embrace it. We're gonna do the best we can with it, and it's gonna cause you to eat healthier. It's going to cause you to live a little bit different lifestyle. You're not going to be able to do all the things your friends can do, but we're never going to use it as an excuse why I can't do something.
Yeah.
And I think he really responded to that, and fortunately, he's remained very healthy throughout. And we've had you have lows at night, and you have scary things. It was scary sending him off to college,
Yeah.
but he's done a really good job. He's very responsible with it. Doesn't take it for granted because you can't, and just really more than athleticism or any of that. I'm really proud of him for how he has handled that, because he does. At the end of the day, he's handling a little bit more than a lot of these other guys are.
Cooper, I normally you would ask somebody how that changed your life. Well, it didn't change yours because you're young enough that it's been your normal. So let me ask it a different way. How do you manage it? How does it impact you? What do we not know about what you have to go through to make sure that you can do all of these things at a high level while managing being a type 1 diabetic?
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that my dad said is absolutely correct. We use it as a blessing. We kind of talked about, hey, this is going to help. This is going to help me eat better. This is going to help me, live better. But I also think it kind of matured me a little earlier. To kind of have, the self awareness. Hey, maybe I can't eat this before bed, or hey, maybe I can't sleep over when I'm, really little.
Yeah.
But yeah, managing it now, I mean, it's second nature. Because like you said, it's like I've had it my whole life. But no, I mean, the staff here at UW does a great job of, I have somebody who kind of, follows me around during practice with a bunch of snacks, fruit snacks and everything, in case my number goes low. I have somebody monitoring my number during practice. So UW does a great job with helping me out with that. Matt, the head trainer, we kind of, put our heads together whenever something's not wrong. Like the other week I was in there because one of my shipments got messed up, to Walgreens.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great people who are helping me here, and do a great job of supporting me.
Did Coach Tressel have something like, even when you were being affirming your recruitment, did he show you a tape of somebody and then identify that player was I thought I read that in one of the stories last year that in the recruitment that he showed you a video, didn't talk about it, but then when it was done said he's a type 1 diabetic, and we were able to manage that and work through. Was that part of it for you as well?
Yeah, he brought that up. I can't remember the player. I don't know
Yeah.
if you can, Dad. But
It was I don't remember the player. It was one of his Michigan State linebackers, though. And
I do remember saying that, and I was kind of
as
shocked.
as a parent hearing that for Jenny and I, that really helped us as well.
Yeah. Cooper, I get the sense, and in reading on before we sit down to do this, it was always Wisconsin, but you were offered in other places. But as a little offshoot on that, I don't want to make it all about the glowing stuff. You're a composite 3-star. Did that bother you then or now? And is that a motivating factor? Was it a motivating factor? Is it a nothing? I mean, what was that for you?
I mean, to me, it's kind of nothing. I think if you ask Jim, I think he's pissed about it still. He definitely, I think, looked at that stuff more than I did. Um, yeah, but no, for me, it's not really a motivating factor. Um, I mean, when it first came out, I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. Like I was definitely, logging in
Yeah.
what was it, 24/7 and Rivals like every other week to see if I got updated or something. But as every recruit kind of goes along, that stuff the coolness of that stuff kind of wears off.
Yeah.
As we get closer and closer to, like getting to school and stuff. So
Yeah.
for me, it's kind of a no, but if you ask him,
Let me bring Jim into the mix. Many times it's a size thing. It's a measurable, right? It's a speed. It's a what did you test in the 40? What's your shuttle? What's your vertical? How big are you? How did you view it? And how does that happen?
Well, I mean, Cooper likes to play it up. I wasn't too terribly upset about it. I mean, I thought we were, blessed to be a 3-star, and this is pretty cool. You're getting recruited, you're getting offers, but you're a dad, you're a mom, you're his biggest fans. So of course you think, oh, my little boy is better than that guy, but no, I think honestly, I think there is some regional bias, if Cooper played in Texas versus if he played in Wisconsin, so I would always kind of tease him. I'd say, oh, you're just a Midwest Mike, you got great ins. And, honestly, even though he's had success, you still that still sort of has persisted, like, and maybe it's true, but I think he's a really good athlete. I think he's going to show a lot this year. But you still get that, oh, he's instinctual and he's takes great angles, so that kind of stuff. But I think he's a little more than that, but we'll see. So
Who was how much older is Tatum than you? She
4 years.
4 years? Who's a better athlete?
I mean, I'm gonna say myself, and she would probably say herself. So
Good. I love that. And then I wonder how competitive y'all were at home. And I'm not just talking about athletic competitiveness, but playing a board game, playing cards, whatever it was. That also pretty competitive in the household.
yeah. So when I was little, like girls grow faster than boys. So like when I was little, she was like bigger than me. So like she could like when we would like roughhouse, she would like beat my ass. So like she would,
she could
bully
handle
me
it.
like when I was little, but as all older sisters do, they kind of stopped bullying me, and as I got bigger, she stopped. So thankfully, she did.
Jim, I ask parents this all the time when we do interviews like this about competitiveness in the house. Some moms and dads, at some point, younger or whatever, let their kids beat them at a game to keep them interested or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misread this, but I get the sense that you didn't let Cooper beat you at anything.
Well, there were sometimes I had to. We would set up this little football field in the backyard, and this is when he was quite young, and he kept changing the rules so that he could win, and sometimes it wouldn't go his way, and he'd get so upset he'd go upstairs and slam the door in his room. And one time he put a sign on the door that said "Good game." He just didn't want to talk about it though, but no, when they're real little, of course, you let them score a basket but no, I'll tell the story. Maybe you're not asking, but I'm going to tell you because I've told a million times. But the first time, I was actually teaching. He was old enough to run and deliver a hit and learn some of the technique involved in a tackling. So I had some old helmets from the garage. I put a helmet on him. I put a helmet on me. And I said, okay, we just did a little 45-degree angle drill. And I said, well, so when you hit somebody, you got to keep your head up or else you get hurt. And I said, but because he would always ask me, what do I have to do to be good at football? I said, well, to be good at football, you can't be afraid. You have to be able to run as fast as you can into someone else and not be afraid. I said, if you start slowing up or ducking your head, I said, then you can't play football. So he's like, all right. So I take the ball and I'm running on my 45-degree angle, and here, 6-7-year-old Cooper comes, and I'm kind of ducking down so he can get into my side or my head. Well, he laid a hit on me, and I'm not exaggerating. I saw stars, and I like had a pause, and he's like, "Well, did I do good?" I said, "Oh, you did great." He said,
Yeah.
"Can we do it again?" I said, "No, Daddy's got to go."
Oh, we're done.
So that was kind of one of my favorite stories about him as a younger man tackling.
Cooper, you had to because you're a very good, obviously a very talented athlete. You had to play offense too, right? Am I wrong on that? Did you play offense both ways in high school?
Yeah, I not my freshman year, but after that, I played both ways. Put a little running back. Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't the calling though for you. I mean, it was always linebacker.
No, definitely not fast enough or quick enough to play running back. But and I like much rather tackle somebody than get tackled for sure.
Yeah. Um, what was last year like for you? That transition, you don't remember. At least I don't recall remembering much when you go to college about being a freshman in high school. But it's kind of the same concept. You're playing now. You're playing against some guys that are 23 years old when you're 18. It's a 5 year, sometimes a 6 year gap. What was that like for you? And maybe when did you, or how quickly did you realize I I belong. I can play with these 22, 23, 24 year olds. How did that play for you last year?
Yeah, I think it was a really long process for me. Um, Graduating early was definitely a huge part of that for me because, as you know, I came in at 200 pounds. So I think the first few months, I just felt like I had to, just get like I just felt out of place. I felt like I wasn't big enough. I felt like I didn't fit in, like my body wise. Like I felt like
Sure.
I was an outlier, definitely in the linebacker room because we had some big dudes. Um, but yeah, it was that, and then the second part was like learning the game, like how they spoke football, how like I knew football. Coming in, you think you know a lot about football because everyone's a great high school athlete, and they're coming
Yeah.
in. It was just
Yeah.
a whole new language, a whole new knowledge of football you didn't even know existed. Um, but I think I really did a good job of that first spring ball, kind of just taking it day by day, practice by practice. I didn't try to do too much. I just tried to really just hone in on the things they were teaching me and try to do it to my best of my ability. Uh, give a lot of give a lot of credit to Coach Tuff and Coach Tressel. Throughout that first year, I was going to Coach Tuff and Coach Tressel a lot. After practice, going over stuff. We did a lot of young guys film, and that kind of translated into fall camp. It kind of kept the same, process. Kind of take it day by day, not get too ahead of myself or get too down of a bad day. And then moving into the season, I just try to treat every game kind of the same, kind of prepare as a starter. I think Coach Tuff did a great job of kind of teaching us new guys, that like we call it being a pro, training like preparing like you're going to be a starter. And I think I did that well every week, even the games I didn't play a whole lot. Um, and yeah, when I was fortunate enough to get more reps and more playing time, I think it was more a smoother transition because I had kind of been preparing like that for almost a year, coming in early. So
Yeah. Oregon is kind of the jumping on point for both you and Mason. Um, is that did you know as the week began that something was going to change and the opportunity was going to happen? And did you share that with mom and dad as well then? Like, walk us through the Oregon week because both for you and Mason, that is really when you were on the field, you played in every game, but that was when it changed. What
yeah.
happened?
Yeah, so I actually knew pretty early in the week that me and Mason were going to start, but I didn't tell my dad probably until like Friday night because I didn't want to tell him Monday morning, Tuesday morning,
Sure.
and
Thursday.
have a bad week of
Thursday.
practice, have him
Yeah.
buy a ticket and be like, or buy a flight and be like, oh hey, I'm not playing. So I didn't
Yeah.
want to tell him because I didn't want to put that extra pressure on myself throughout the week. But no, it was a surreal week for me and Mason. Not surreal in the sense of like a whole new level of preparation or anything like that. Just the opportunity was really cool going into a crazy road environment, playing a really good team. And yeah, that was definitely a really cool experience for us. I think we learned a lot. I think we did a lot of great things, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that we improved on throughout the year. And yeah, a funny story from that. We do this like pregame walkthroughs in the hotel, before like we
Yeah.
have like dinners. That was a night game, so we had like dinner, lunch, and dinner and stuff. So we did like a walkthrough before dinner, and I'm wearing this like white shirt, and I'm nervous, obviously, because it's my first start, and I'm just like sweating through. Like I had to change my shirt for dinner. Mason's like asked me if I'm good during the walkthrough because like I'm sweating bad. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I was definitely feeling it, leading up to it, but yeah, it was just a really cool experience and really grateful for that.
Jim, you and Jenny don't find out apparently until Thursday night, right? So what was the rest of the week and then that
Well,
Saturday for you?
we forget about, and of course the dad would bring this up, but they put him in about towards the end of the first quarter against Ohio State,
Yeah.
and Cooper ended up leading the team in tackles against Ohio State, and he played. I thought he played really well. So I said to Jenny, I said, I think he may start. So I
Yeah.
mean, we had the
Sure.
feeling,
Yeah.
but yeah. So it was. I did look into flights and hotels to Oregon, and man, there was just nothing like reasonable. So,
Oh,
but then when he started and we were watching at home, I looked over at Jenny. I said that this is the last game I'm missing, so never miss another game again. So we already got our flights for this season.
there
We're
you
good to
go.
go. So.
Um, Cooper, let me ask you about Mason. A lot has been made about the two of you, your friendship, the role that you've taken on very young as leaders in some way, shape, or form. I'll let you guys, manage that part of it. But there's some responsibility that goes with the publicity and the conversation. How have you managed that? Jim, I'll let you jump in here too. But Cooper, how has that played a role with you and how have you managed it?
You asking what was the question again? Sorry.
But you and Mason taking on a leadership role, and you've gotten a lot of coverage, interviews like this, media coverage. With that comes some responsibility. How have you managed it?
Yeah, I think the relationship part, like the friendship me and Mason have, I think it's easy for us because it's genuine. We're not just putting on like a show for everybody. Like we're roommates. We just moved in a new apartment together, and we do everything together. So it's easy that way. But kind of what you said with the coverage and everything, I think we just have a lot of great role models around here, older guys kind of showing us the way. Last year, Garrison Solid being a older veteran in the room. I think Aaron Witt, has been here for a long
Yeah.
time, kind of showing us the ways, the do's, the don'ts. I think guys outside the room too. Like you have guys from last year like DP, Rico, great leaders and great
Yeah.
captains on these teams. So I think just learning from leaders like local leaders last year, the guys I mentioned, and then just all the knowledge from the older guys that have been here for a while. So I think we do a great job of just trying to be sponges, man. Just learning from past leaders, past guys. So yeah.
If you're listening to this show, you're exactly the type of Wisconsin fan that Badger Connect was built for. It simply allows the Wisconsin sports fan to get closer to the program that you love and directly support the program of your choosing. Your membership goes to the sport that you choose, which benefits the student athlete, and it rewards you for your Badger fandom. Members get exclusive content, great prize giveaways, and behind-the-scenes access that you just simply won't get anywhere else. If you want to be part of the giveaways and the access, pro memberships start at $35 a month, with elite options available for even more access. If you want to support Wisconsin athletics and be part of the programs that you love, you can go to badgerconnect.com and join today.
Dad, how do you manage that? And maybe you don't. I mean, it sounds like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders from that concept. But you see it, you're in it, but you're also looking in a little bit from the outside. And there's been a lot of coverage and talk about what these two kids, Cooper and Mason, bring to the table and what they do. And they are true sophomores. How do you see them having managed that responsibility?
I think they've done a great job. I mean, you're forced to grow up, right? I mean, it's a
Yeah.
not a bad problem to have at all. But or if it's even a problem, but no, I think both of them have done a great job in sort of embracing the leadership role, embracing the I'm not going to say face of the program, but they're recognizable, right? Like
Sure.
it's fun. I mean, we Cooper comes home for spring break and we're out to dinner and in the Richfield area, and people are coming up to him and say, hey, enjoy watching you, and
Yeah.
good luck. I mean, it's great to see. It's really cool. But his high school coach Jake Davis had a actual leadership, very much structured like what I think what Luke has. He has a leadership committee, and it's not just a couple guys, like 14, 15 guys, and they meet with the coach, and it's a very similar structure, I think, to what Cooper can tell you better. But I think that kind of prepared him. I don't know that. Yeah, some people are just natural leaders, and sometimes your role forces you to be a leader. But I think he had some preparation in that as well, thanks to that.
Are you guys wired similarly, Cooper? You and Mason? I mean, do you kind of see things through the same lens?
Yeah, I believe so. I think we're both, hyper competitive. I think we're both really good leaders. I think, yeah, I think we're pretty similar in the way we kind of see the game, the way we talk about the game. I think it's really easy for us, to be able to have that communication on the field because we're so similar in that sense.
Any, I mean, there's got to be internal competition too, right? That makes you better. But is there? I mean, you guys don't fight.
No. I mean, I couldn't fight him if I want to. 4-time state
Good
champion
choice.
wrestler.
Yeah,
So
good
I never
choice.
wrestled, so it'd be tough for me. But yeah, I mean, ever since we've been here, everything we've done has been a competition. So I think it's a hyper competitive league. It's a hyper competitive sport and a hyper competitive environment. So I
I
think
mean,
everything we're doing, is against somebody else, and
sure.
so it's a winner and a loser. So
You grew up 1,500 miles apart ish, but now, Jim, you've met Debbie and Javier. Do you find in common traits between you and Jenny and how you guys have raised boys who didn't meet each other until they got on campus?
It actually is amazing. In fact, I just sent a text to Debbie and Javier yesterday because we got to visit them. Well, as our viewers are seeing this, a couple weeks ago when the boys moved into their apartment, we all kind of chipped in and helped them move in. They came into town, but just watching their family interact, it's very similar to how our family interacts, and it's not really difficult to see how these guys kind of just meshed and became close. And what a great family. And there are definitely differences though between Cooper and Mason. Mason will tell you how he's feeling. He'll tell you what to expect. I mean, Cooper, I think, keeps it close to the cuff. Like a funny story, like last summer, we're visiting the boys in the apartment, and Mason's like, Mr. Catalano, Cooper and I are gonna lead the team in tackles. We're gonna be starters. And I'm like, okay, Mason, like, just keep working hard, buddy. But
Yep.
I mean, I believe what Posta tells you because he's been pretty spot on so far.
You're not wrong. Cooper, hypothetical now, so you got to go with me. If you ever got in trouble at home, big if, who were you most worried about? Mom being angry and disappointed in you, or dad?
Mom.
That's easy. It's the easiest question. Nobody ever says dad.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Mom.
That makes sense. What are you most excited about? Jim, let me start with you. It's a little different in year 2 because you kind of don't know what to expect. You haven't been down that road before. He hadn't been down that road before. Now it's year 2. Expectations are different. Certainly the schedule is different. The opportunities are different. What are you most excited about in year 2 to watch not just Cooper, but the team?
I mean, listen, Mike, and I'm the ultimate homer, and I'm biased as heck, but I went to 2-3 spring practices, and with my own eyes, I can see they upgraded everywhere. I mean, they got athletes everywhere, and I know you guys cover it, so you guys know, but I'm extremely excited for this whole team, not just those two boys, the whole linebacker room. The whole team, I just think they made some great moves. I think there's a really positive vibe in the building when you talk to other players, which I do, and you talk to the coaches, which I do. And you guys saw it at media days. There's a confidence, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. I really am. I think they're going to surprise some people.
Let me ask you about how you consume a game when your son's on the field. What kind of a fan are you? How different are you and your wife when you're watching? And is it sometimes hard to watch from the stands, or is it easier there or at home? How does that work? Because now you're going to be there. It sounds like I just heard you say you're going to be at
Well,
every single one of them. How does that play?
it was funny as the season went on. Initially, it was just, I mean, I'm a big football guy. It was I was like a kid in a candy store from the recruiting
Yeah,
process and the visits all the way through. Um, so just seeing him run down on kickoff, I'm like, well, this is great. Like I'm
yeah,
just having
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But then as things got more serious and he's getting more playing time and he's starting, and you start looking at it more like, oh, the old dad ball coach, like, oh, he should have made that play, and like, I wonder,
Sure.
what happened there. And but it's still just, it really is. It's just a lot of fun for our whole family, and we get the tailgates going. We get a lot of family and friends coming. Cooper's got a lot of support, obviously, from not just the Germantown, Richfield community, but that whole part of the state. And it's been phenomenal to just see so many people enjoy watching his success as well.
Well, and I'd be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit more about, with the Catalanos, not just you with the Catalanos and the Poses, but about parents, Jim, and the family that is the parents of players, because none of the rest of us have any idea of what you all go through as moms and dads and kids in the program. So there's a kinship in parents and that family bond when you guys are together on Friday nights in a hotel lobby waiting for your sons to come down from a meeting to get a little time with them, or on a game day. Give us a little insight as to how that worked, because last year was your first experience of that.
Right. Yeah. The player families are really, that is a tight bond. You're absolutely right, because they are going through the same things you're going through, the highs and lows, the pressure, the scrutiny, and no one really sees how hard these guys work. Right. Like, I mean, you see them on Saturdays in autumn, but it's a year round. I mean, and yeah, they've got a lot of perks, and it's a great life. They're making money now, but these guys work very hard, extremely hard year round, and they are still going to classes,
Yeah.
and they are still dealing with social settings and girlfriends and demands for ticket. I mean, there's a myriad of things, but yeah, it does help to have that. The one of the greatest things, and it's probably not uncommon, but the UW parents do the family tailgate lot. You can only
Yeah.
be in there if you only get a spot if you're family. Certainly anyone, Mike, you can stop by. Anyone's
Okay.
invited, um, but but yeah, that's just a great place, because you're kind of decompressing prior to the game, because that's when your nerves are highest, and you get to
Yeah.
kind of, Javier and I can kind of hold court and
Yeah.
talk our fears away, and then we'll get into the stadium when it opens, and away we go.
Cooper, let me finish on two final ones, both for you. One, there is a grind associated with this, and a single-minded purpose when you're a college athlete. But there are also times to escape, and when you have to. How does that work for you? What do you do? Is it fishing? Are you a reader? When you have to decompress and get away from the game, what is it?
Yeah, for me, it's golf.
Okay.
We got a solid group of, probably it's probably up to 60 guys now that are all golfing on the team.
All
So
right.
we just had like our last like team, outside the facility, like outing. We all went to a golf course. We had like 55 guys. We, had like a whole tee sheet of guys who all played golf. It was a fun
That's
outing.
great.
But yeah, I mean, today I just golfed with, Emmett, Colton, and Grant.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely for me, it's golf.
All right, and then let me finish on this. What has you excited? We're going to play in a couple of weeks at Lambeau Field in Green Bay on a Sunday night against Notre Dame, and they're going to be a top three ranked team probably in the country. What are you excited about? What are you most looking forward to in your second season of college football?
Yeah, I'm excited, to show the world, what we've been building this offseason. Like you mentioned and my dad mentioned, like we got athletes all over the field and we upgraded all over the place. So I'm just excited, for people to see what we're going to look like for the 2026 season. And yeah, I'm ready to shock a lot of people this year.
Well, let's go do it. What a pleasure this is for me to get a chance to visit with both of you. Jim, you and I visited briefly in one of the hotel lobbies last fall. And Cooper, we've had a couple of conversations. I'm so excited, and I can speak for a lot of the fan base. We are too. It is kind of a prove it season, and I think you're ready to prove it. And I think we're all excited to see what you're going to do. I appreciate the chance to visit with you. Thanks for carving out time, and we'll look forward to the next time we get a chance to talk.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having us, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, guys. And that'll wrap another edition of the Badger Connect podcast. I'm your host, Mike Heller. We'll see you again next week.